Hey there and welcome back to Mass Effect. My name is Pete and today we will finally return to the Citadel. And we will complete a bunch of assignments actually. Among them the Asari Diplomacy assignment, but also Shepards' background specific assignment, the Old Friends assignment. So to get started, we of course need to travel to the Citadel first. And traveling there is not enough, we also need to land. Alright, the Normandy has landed on the Citadel and we can now exit. Quick disclaimer, I will not use the fast travel system on the Citadel. It is true that would get us to where we need to be much faster, but there's also still the chance of an interesting conversation or message in an elevator, and whenever those pop up I will leave them in.
Equalizing interior pressure with exterior atmosphere. Logged. The commanding officer is ashore. Exo Presley has the deck.
For our squad I've chosen Rex and Garoth. It doesn't really matter though, they won't play a role at all in this episode. And now the first thing that we'll have to do here on the Citadel is leave the docking bay area and take the elevator down to CSEC.
After years of poor economic performance, ExoGeni has announced that its research colony on Pharos is finally returning a profit. New discoveries and a dedicated colonization effort have finally paid off for ExoGeni. ExoGeni stock rose sharply with the announcement, with investors pleased at this surprising news.
And nice to hear that the ExoGeni colony on Pharos is prospering. Our involvement certainly helped in that regard. We have now arrived at Citadel security, but we're not going to stick around. We will have to return later anyway. For now we can proceed to the wards, because today we're going to do a bit of shopping. Among other things in this episode, we will finally fully max out our grenade and medical capacities, and we're also going to stock up on a few licenses.
Alliance officials report that a Geth incursion into the Armstrong cluster has been repulsed, with the Geth suffering heavy casualties. In the event of future Geth activity, the Alliance plans to maintain a strong security presence in the area.
This elevator message refers to the Geth Incursions assignment, and we took care of that back in episode 43. The Geth had begun setting up a large number of outposts in the Armstrong cluster, and we systematically went through and wiped out each and every one of them. And here we are now in the Citadel wards. Our first target is the merchant Expart in the upper markets. Expart is the source of 2 weapon and armory licenses, as well as 1 grenade upgrade and 1 Medigel upgrade. We do already own both of the upgrades and also one of the licenses, but to fully make this a completionist playthrough, we still need that second license. By the way, I think this right here is actually our second to last visit to the Citadel. There will be one more, but that's already pretty much tied into the storyline, so that's why in this episode we will tie up pretty much all the loose ends we still have here. And with that we have now actually arrived in the upper markets. Let's talk to Expart.
Welcome back, EarthClan. Will you be needing supplies for your return to the colonies?
Yes, indeed we do.
Show me what you've got.
Most excellent. I am sure you will find something pleasing.
And right here at the bottom of the list is the Armax Arsenal license. For a cheap 28,000 credits we can purchase that. We will probably never use it though. And up next is a conversation with our #1 fan, Conrad Verner.
I've got an idea and I wanted to run it by you.
Well, then I suggest you better get to the point.
I've got a lot going on right now, but I can spare a moment.
Great! This'll just take a minute. With so many human colonies being attacked, I'm not sure that 1 Spectre is enough. What if you signed me on as another Spectre?
I think that's an absolutely terrible idea.
Conrad, I haven't been shot in the head nearly enough times to make that seem like a good idea.
Joke if you want, but there were people who didn't believe in you, and you worked out, right? I know you're afraid to trust people after losing your team at a cruise, but I'd never let you down.
Okay, choices. We could either just continue to tell him it's a bad idea, which would have some fatal consequences, or we could use the charm or intimidate options. In terms of story, both of them will have the same result, only the method to get there is a bit different, and the intimidate option gives us a few renegade points, which we still desperately need. So let's go with that one.
Alright, let's see. I'm a bad guy. Stop me from killing you.
What? No, please. Please don't hurt me. Why are you doing this?
Well, maybe just to show you that you're really not made for this.
Because you're not a soldier, Conrad. You can't handle this. Go home.
I thought you were a hero. Heroes don't do things like this. I wish I'd never met you.
Alright, that completes the Citadel the Fan assignment. For the remainder of the game we will hear no more of Conrad Verner, and as if that wasn't reward enough, we also get over 1000 experience points and 9 renegade points. Our next stop is now in the lower markets, where we can purchase another license from Morlan.
Yes, human, you need something, yes?
Yes, that I do.
Let me see what you have.
Oh, you will be pleased, I think. Very good things I have. You will see.
And we want to view the standard items here. And once again, at the bottom of the list, we can find the Geth Armory license. This license is actually interesting because all the other licenses have manufacturers behind them. The Geth Armory license is simply just Geth weapons, however, it is never specified who makes them. Now we can continue and actually begin Shepards' background assignment. And for that one, we will talk to this guy named Finch over here.
They told me it was you, but I didn't believe it. Shepard grew up and turned into a soldier.
And it seems like this man recognizes us. Sadly, the pleasure isn't mutual.
Have we met?
Name's Finch. You probably don't remember me, but we ran together in the 10th Street Reds. Maybe you don't remember it yourself, running in a gang. None of the vids mention it when they're talking about you.
So we learn a bit about Shepard here, but I think we can also safely say that that life is in the past.
So I ran with the Reds. That's behind me now.
We're not trying to cause you trouble, Shepard. We just want a favor, for old time's sake. One of the Reds, Kurt Wiseman, got picked up by Turians. We'd like you to talk to the Turian guard in the bar and get Kurt out.
So what did he do to get arrested?
What was this guy arrested for?
Some stupid minor offense. Maybe he had a little red sand. You know how the Turians are. They declared him a problem, and they're shipping him back for a trial.
And you said he was in Turian custody. How exactly did that happen?
What was one of the 10th Street Reds doing in Turian space?
Since your days, the Reds have expanded. We do some salvage, a little shipping here and there, that kind of thing.
So just to make sure here, you only want us to talk and not take action, right?
You're not asking me to break Wiseman out of jail, are you?
Of course not. But word has it you've got some pull with the aliens. All we're asking you to do is pull a little for us.
Alright, I have to admit this sounds a bit sketchy to me, so let's not make any promises here.
I'll talk to the Turian and see what I can do.
Thanks, Shepard. I knew you'd remember your old friends. The guard's over in Cora's den. Take care of this, and you'll never see me again.
Okay, then I think it's time for us to go to Cora's den next. Maybe the guard over there can tell us a bit more. Right, I think it can't hurt to be up front here, and it will also result in 2 Paragon points.
A human named Finch wanted me to use my authority as a Spectre to free Kurt Wiseman.
The xenophobe? I should have known he'd have friends. Thank you for the information. We'll increase the guard at his cell.
I knew you'd rat us out, Shepard. Now it's payback time. When we're through telling our story, the aliens will all know what the first human Spectre really is.
First things first, let's investigate and tell him the same thing we already told him before. The fact that we ran with the gangs is apparently nothing new.
My bio is public record. Everyone knows that I ran with gangs as a kid.
They don't know that the Reds target aliens specifically. We've got the backers to handle off-world missions. Your alien friends won't like you so much when they hear what your gang did.
Now, I'd be interested, what exactly is your endgame here?
What do you want, Finch? What gets you out of my life?
What do I want? I want aliens off of Earth. I want the Council to stay out of humanity's business.
It still sounds like back in the days the gang was a lot different, so what changed?
The 10th Street Reds was a gang, not an Earth First movement.
They're a human movement now. You think the vids will make that distinction? I can find a dozen Reds who'll swear they saw you kill aliens for fun. Who's going to believe you then?
Okay, once again we have a choice to make. We have the option to simply shoot him, and thanks to our Spectre status we could do so without repercussions, but we can actually use exactly that fact to our advantage and solve this thing peacefully with a few renegade points on top.
You think I care what the aliens think of me, Finch?
But this is your career. You'd throw it all away like that?
I think he needs a bit more convincing.
I can legally execute everyone in this bar. You think the Council cares about my shady past?
The Spectre has overcome a troubled youth to lead a proud military career. The Turians would not care about such things, and I doubt your lies would fool the Solarians or the Asari.
Fine, Shepard, you're right. You're not one of the Reds. Maybe you never were.
That man is a xenophobe who thinks he can blackmail a Spectre. You should have killed him.
That we could have done, you're right, but despite our recent renegade point streak, we still have principles.
That's not the way I work.
Goodbye, human. It'll be interesting to see what kind of Spectre you turn out to be.
Alright, that is the Citadel Old Friends assignment completed. We get almost 3,500 experience points for that, 2 Paragon points for warning the guard, and 9 Renegade points for our somewhat threatening arguments. Now up next we want to go up to the Presidium, more specifically to the Citadel Tower. That is quite a long way and we could fast travel there, but like I said earlier, I don't really want to do that. That does not, however, stop me from speeding things up until we're in the first elevator.
Presidium technicians are struggling to understand why a computer system catastrophically overloaded recently. Technicians are reportedly unsure of what caused the malfunction, or even what the system was originally designed to do. CSEC is investigating the possible vandalism or misuse of public property.
I believe this refers to the signal tracking assignment. We completed that way back in episode 11, and if you don't remember, we began tracking a mysterious signal, and that signal eventually led us to an AI, which promptly initiates a self-destruct sequence. Of course, we managed to get away unharmed, otherwise the squad wouldn't be here today. Now, the small area here we can just quickly run through. It's more of a transitional area, and to be honest, one that I don't really like. The fact that this area exists adds one more elevator ride to the journey, so in my opinion it just makes things longer than they need to be.
Admiral Kahoku, a respected member of the Alliance military, has passed away. The veteran soldier who won the love of his troops during conflict with the Batarians died of natural causes. Kahoku is survived by his wife and 3 children, who are planning a small private memorial service.
And this one's interesting, the news report about the death of Admiral Kahoku. Now, we just heard that Kahoku apparently died of natural causes. However, we know the truth from finding him in a Cerberus research facility. His dead body was covered with needle marks and locked in with Cerberus test subjects, which I think leads to the very plausible conclusion that Kahoku did not simply pass away. We have now arrived at the Presidium, where we have a few more stops to make. Like I said, the first one will be inside Citadel Tower in the Council Chambers. Maybe you remember the UNC Privateers assignment. A man named Garoth approached us after our second council meeting, and he asked us to find his brother who, along with his ship, has gone missing. Now, we were indeed able to find his brother Willem. Sadly, however, he was already dead. Willem still had a datapad in his hands and we took that, and we are now returning to his brother Garoth to inform him of the sad news.
Any news? Did you find my brother yet?
That we did, sadly a bit too late though.
I found your brother's body. His ship was attacked by privateers.
Willem's dead? I guess I should have expected this. When his ship dropped out of contact, I just knew. But I kept hoping he might still be alive.
Okay, now let me say I don't want to be the asshole here. However, we still desperately need renegade points. So we'll just have to be a bit mean here. It won't have any major consequences though.
False hope doesn't do anybody any good.
Maybe. But sometimes I think false hope is better than no hope at all. Please excuse me. I need to go make arrangements for his funeral.
So we earned 2 renegade points and a guilty conscience as well, but we can now also mark the UNC Privateers mission as fully completed. That means all that is left for us to do now is head back down, and just like before I will skip the elevator ride since nothing interesting happens. Back down at the Presidium, we now have quite the march ahead of us, as we now need to run from one end of the Presidium to the other, because it is finally time to wrap up the Asari Diplomacy assignment. To quickly recap that, while I slightly speed things up here, we met the Asari diplomat Nassana Dantius a while ago in a bar here on the Citadel. In a short conversation, she told us that her sister had been kidnapped by pirates, and that as a result of her diplomatic status, she was not allowed to negotiate with the hostage takers. Therefore, she asked us to step in, and we did, and we actually found her sister. However, her sister had not been kidnapped at all. Instead, she was the leader of the pirate band. Not knowing that, we of course killed the entire gang, including Nassana's sister. Now, we don't really know why Asana lied to us in this matter, but it seems reasonable, being a diplomat and all, that a sister involved in criminal activities was becoming a bit of a liability. For now, that only remains an assumption, but we are now about to get some answers.
Yes, Shepard? Did you find my sister?
Yeah, you could say that, and now I think you have a lot of explaining to do.
Dahlia's dead. I killed her myself. If you don't want to end up like her, start talking.
No need to raise your voice, Commander. Surely you can understand why I lied to you. If people found out my sister was a criminal, I'd be considered a security risk. They'd revoke my clearance, or place me on administrative leave until she was apprehended. That is why I misled you. I could not risk you exposing me. But now that Dahlia is out of the picture, it's no longer a problem.
That's pretty selfish considering the fact that you just had your own sister killed, but who are we to judge? Just don't expect us to work for you again anytime soon.
Next time, do your own dirty work.
I am sorry I wasn't honest with you. We have trust issues in my family.
Obviously.
I shall transfer a little something into your account as a token of my appreciation. I'm sure you'll find the amount satisfactory.
Now, while we do have both an Intimidate and the Charm option available to us here, we're not going to choose either one. They would present us with a greater reward, however, one that we can still obtain at a later point in the game. So it's not like we miss out on anything exclusive here. The downside is that the Charm and Intimidate options don't give us morality points, and those are exactly what we need. For 2 Paragon points we could now decline her payment, or for 2 Renegade points we could take it, and I think let's do that. After all, we went through a lot of trouble for this.
If you try to cheat me on this...
I am not that stupid. You will get a fair deal. A very fair deal. Goodbye, Shepard.
Alright, we just leveled up and that means we have now reached level 50. However, and I have to admit I'm really pissed off by this. You can see here that we can't level up any further. Even though the Medal of Honor achievement was already unlocked before starting this playthrough, and even though this achievement unlocks levels 51 to 60, it only unlocks them for a character that you have already played through the game with. That means regardless of achievements, it is impossible to level up a character above 50 if that character is on his or her first playthrough. Since that is the case with our Shepard, we are now stuck at level 50. I had planned to get this character to level 55, 56, somewhere in that range, and we are now effectively missing a few talent points here. That is not a terrible problem, I think we're powerful enough as we are at the moment. Still, the fact that we had to play through 50 levels to discover this is pretty infuriating. Despite all that, let's not dwell on it. We are now at level 50, that unlocks a bunch of nice stuff, and at least we still have one more point to spend. For Shepard, that point will go in sniper rifles. Then for Rex, it will go in barrier. And with Garrus, we actually have 2 points to spend because he missed a few assignments, and both of those will go in damping. Alright, that is now the Asari Diplomacy assignment completed, and like I said, after reaching level 50, a few nice things unlock. The biggest one is the broad availability of level 10 weapons and armors, and you might see where this is going. Thanks to unlocking the Rich achievement, we have access to Spectre Master Gear for quite a while now. However, up until this point, only the level 7 versions of that were available to us. Now level 50 changes that. We now have access to level 10 Spectre Master Gear, which is all across the board and without competition the best weaponry in the game. And we can buy a full set, 1 pistol, 1 sniper rifle, 1 assault rifle and 1 shotgun down here in CSEC from the CSEC Requisitions Officer.
Hello, Commander.
Show me what you've got.
I'll open the rare stocks for you, Commander. Enjoy.
Although, first of all, let's grab the Casa Fabrication license, as well as the level 4 upgrades to our Medigel and grenade capacity. And then we can spend big time to grab ourselves the level 10 Spectre Master Gear stuff. Right now, the Requisitions Officer only has 1 of each, but we can get another full set back on the Normandy. Now there is only one last stop that we have to make. As you saw, we just bought the level 4 upgrades to our Medigel and grenade capacities. It only goes 1 level higher, so there's in total only 5 upgrades for each of them, and both of those 5th upgrades are available right here on the Citadel. For that we need to go back up to the Presidium though, and it is also necessary to have the level 4 upgrades acquired first. So you can't just grab the level 5 upgrade and then grab the level 4 one later, you have to buy them in order, one after the other. And we are going to buy those last 2 remaining upgrades from the Hannah Merchant de la Ninder.
Commander, it is good to see you again. Would you care to see some of its fantastic items today?
Show me your items.
Oh, this one is pleased to do so, human. You will not be disappointed.
Once again, as with all upgrades, we want to view the standard items here. And down at the bottom of the list we can grab the Medigel upgrade 5 and the grenade upgrade 5. We can also grab the Ceres Council Armory license, and with that we now have all but 1 weapon and armory license. The last one is one that we could have just gotten from Nassana Dantius, however we can still simply buy it on Vermeer, so in that case the Renegade points were a bit more valuable to me. Even without that last license we have now bought all available Medigel and grenade upgrades, and I would say that moves us 1 step closer to full completion. The only thing left to do is now to return to the Normandy, and that gives me a bit of time to talk about what to do next. The way I see it, we basically have 3 options now. Option number 1 would be to continue with the main quest line. That means we would travel to Vermeer next and continue the hunt for Saren. The other option would be to play one of the DLCs. That could either be Bring Down the Sky or Pinnacle Station, although I personally think that Bring Down the Sky would be a bit more interesting. The third option would be to continue with a few minor assignments, as we also still have a small number of those left to complete. And I think this is a perfect time for some audience participation. For that reason I have left a link to a straw poll down below, in which you can choose where you'd like to see the playthrough go next.
A research station on Noveria has reportedly been destroyed. The exact cause is currently unknown. Given the research conducted on Noveria, many are blaming the destruction on an experiment gone awry. Administrator Anoleus currently faces criminal charges as a result of the disaster, although the nature of the charges remains unclear.
And nice to hear that our actions on Noveria have also finally made it to the Citadel. I was beginning to worry we wouldn't even hear that message. We have now arrived back down in CSEC, but only need to spend a few seconds here, as our target is the elevator on the other side, which will bring us back up to the docking bay. And now that we've made it back here, we can re-enter the Normandy.
Stand by, shore party. Decontamination in Logged. The commanding officer is aboard. XO Presley stands relieved.
Alright, I think that's it for this episode. A lot of loose ends tied up, and we're really now at a point where we could do anything. Like I said, use the straw poll to let me know where you'd like the series to go next. Leave a thumbs up if you liked this episode, and as always, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.